Hi students, hope you are enjoying session 5 related to planning. When I say planning, it is not just for the profession, and I look at the relevance of planning even for our personal growth and development. In fact, planning is there with all of us. Planning is there in our day-to-day work. For example, if you get pocket money from your parents, you are planning how to spend that money throughout month, because in between you know that your father or mother will not give you pocket money, so that you have to keep that the limited resources throughout the month to ask again the next month pocket money after end of the present month. So in that way you can see the planning is so relevant for all of us. At the same time, on your job, when you are working for a company, right, your day-to-day work involves the planning, right? So manager job is always with plan. In that context, we understood even the relevance of decision making, because decision making is an integral part of manager job. When we are planning, we take so many decisions while planning. So we understood even decision making, how it is important in our the job as well as in our day-to-day life. For example, you have taken decisions to study this course, and before that we have several options, but you have chosen this intentionally, right, out of your interest, and then preference, you have chosen this course. So there is a decision making in all these, right? So with that, let me come to the last the clipping of this the session, the last video, and in this you will understand steps involved in the planning process. There are a couple of steps. All these steps are interrelated, and there is a sequence among all these steps. That's why we call them integral part of the entire the planning activity. So when you see planning as a process, all these activities, they have logical connection. So one step follows the another step. So since it is interrelated, then we see that there is a process in the planning. So in that you will understand various the steps. The steps, in fact, 9. Before we just look at these 9 steps reflected in the diagram, I would like to just emphasize on 2 statements given by 2 different renowned personalities about planning, right? So the John L. Backley said that most people don't plan to fail, right? So we never plan anything to fail. Always we plan for success. But why we fail at the end? Because we failed in plan. Please try to understand it. Then another important thing, Warren Buffett. The Warren Buffett says that no one has ever become rich simply by saving, right? Saving, if you have saving, you can accumulate some wealth, right? So, but you can't become rich. If you want to become rich out of your saving, what is required? You need a proper plan of investing your savings, right? So this is what is the relevance and importance of the planning in all levels, personal level as well as professional level. So in this backdrop, let me look at steps in planning process. There are 9 steps, as I mentioned. The first one, establish objectives. The last one, reviewing the planning process, right? Developing strategies, determination of premises, determination of alternatives, evaluation of alternatives, selecting a course of action, and formulation of derivative plans, and then implementation of plans, at last reviewing the planning process. So these are the 9 steps involved in the planning, right? Now let us look at one by one these steps for better understanding the process. The first one is the setting objectives, right? So when you look at the setting objectives, so that is the first step of planning. It is to decide what for, what is our ultimate end destination, end result. So that one has to decide in a smart way, right? Even setting objective or setting goal has 5 features. Those 5 features are called SMART, in the sense specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and then timely. So whenever you fix any target or goal for your job or even on your personal life, right? So you need this SMART, the concept, so that your objective is very relevant and then viable. So then look at the second and third. So developing strategies and then determination of the premises. When you look at this, your objectives or goals that are decided in the first step, then you develop the strategies. That means you have to develop the course of action and then look at the strategically how you can put the resources at present and then process all your activities, and at the end you will see that the comfort and then the desired result in the long term and then in the future, right? For that we evolve some kind of strategies. So then determination of the premises. So then assumptions about the various factors which are affecting the planning. So because when you are planning, there are so many factors and you need some kind of assumptions. You have to determine the premises. Within this, I am just going to operate all my activities. So that kind of decision and then determination is required as far as you are confining or finalizing the premises. Then the fourth one is something related to determination of alternatives and evaluation of alternatives, the fifth one. When you see that, first of all, identify different alternative course of actions, right? Different types of options, right? Find out the most promising alternative. So then determine and identify various the sources and alternatives, and then evaluate each and every alternative. So then each and every alternative you have to see that how much resource is required, how much investment is happening, and what is the payback period, and what are the resources that are required when I implement a particular option. Like that, you have to see that all the things that you are evaluating, and then finally you are selecting the most appropriate alternative. So identifying the most appropriate course of action is your ultimate fixing the target, fixing the ultimate the course of action, and then select more than one the backup the plan for future use. So you can come out with a kind of several options and then identify one plan, and then also you can keep the second the plan as your backup so that it works for your organization as and when it required. So then seventh one is formulate derivative plans. Once you finalize a plan, then develop the complete course of action in terms of the policies and procedures and schedules and budgeting, and then so all these things, the programs, and then everything that you have to formulate, and then step by step you just clearly mention that how your plan is going to work. Then last two, implementation of the plan. So when you have a completely the blueprint in your hand, so then involve all the managers, right? And see that the organizing, leading, and the controlling that happens over and above your planning, because the planning implementation happens through the remaining three functions of managers. So managers assign the tasks, and then give the responsibility to each and every level, communicate very clearly, explain about the plan, how it is going to be in our organizations, and what is the expected result out of it, and everything that you have to explain and tell them so about each and everything, and then lead or motivate your team members towards implementation and then execution of your the plan that you have started implementation. So this is what is the 8th step. The last step is when the plan is in the process, in the implementation process, then go for the reviewing the plan. So how the plan entire process is working, right? Check time to time the process and then regulate the complete mechanism and monitor how it is actually working. So in that context, you can see that identifying the needs of the entire organization, review and then find out any kind of change that is required in the process, and accordingly you bring the change, and then you can even introduce the second plan if the first plan is not working as per our expectations. So in this way you can see that all the steps are followed in the planning, and then implemented various activities, and ultimately the planning is to achieve the organizational goals and then objectives. So with this, let me just look at all the sessions that are there, because we are going to meet in the session 6. So with this, we have seen all the sessions in this module, right? And section 6, the 5, it is all about understanding the planning as the first function of management and its purpose, and then the principles of the planning, and why decision making is involving in the planning process, because in each and every step we are taking decisions in terms of identifying alternatives and assessing alternatives, and then selecting alternatives. So there are several decisions, and I think we kept one module to understand exclusively decision making that is happening with the managers, and at the same time we also understood different levels and the different types of the planning that is happening in the organizations. At the last, we have seen that entire the planning in terms of its process, different stages and steps that are there with the planning, how these steps are working, and then in the manager's hands, and then ultimately each and every the stage the managers are using the different stages, and then the steps, and then planning various activities, and then executing tasks and achieving the organizational goals. So that is the first function of managers and management in the organization setup. So with this, let me look at all of you to see that the next video 24 of session 6. In that, you are going to understand the second function of management, organizing, right? So please look at all these the videos. Try to understand planning as the primary and then first function of management, and inside all the elements of the planning, right? Thank you very much, and all the best, and welcome to the next session 6 and video 24.